Okay, let's do one Mishnah, Rabotai. So we continue the minhag here that we have, the derech, and then we're going to do Mashiach, B'zat Hashem. Shimon HaTzadik. He was one of the last men standing of the great assembly. Hu Aya Omer, and he would say this, the opposite of what the world tells you. Ashlosha Dvarim Ha'olam Omed. The world stands on three things. Ala Torah, the fact that men learn Torah. Va'ala Avodah, the fact that we had the sacrifices, the korbanot, and we had the Bet HaMikdash, and now that we don't have the Bet HaMikdash, the tefillot, the prayers, the world stands on them. Ve'al Gemilut Chasadim, and the fact that we do acts of kindness to one another. Let's analyze this very quickly, Rabotai. Ashlosha Dvarim Ha'olam Omed. The world stands on three things. Let those words sink into your ears, including myself. What does it mean? The world stands on the fact that men learn, and we all daven, and we all do chesed, acts of kindness to one another. What does that mean? It means that this world is not about money, that's for sure. If the world stands on us learning Torah, if the world stands on people praying and doing chesed, that means the more Torah, the more chesed, and the more prayer, the more the world is going to keep on going. Now, let's say you have a person, day in, day out, 20 years old, 30 years old, 40 years old, 50 years old. He still has this mindset of the rat race of the world. Wealth, millionaires. Chaval al-Azman. The world stands on what? The world stands on the fact that you learn Torah. The world was created for people to learn Torah. Was created first. The world was created first, the Torah was created first. Torah. Chazal tell us that Torah was created before the world. Now Hashem wanted the Torah to play out in real life, like live. So what did He do? He created the world. So now that you have the world, you can actually follow the Torah. So basically now you have a live Torah. But the Torah was created before the world. You know what it's like? Lehavdil elef havdalot. It's like Harry Potter. First Harry Potter was written, then you have to play it out. So then the movie came out. I don't know what number they're up to by now. But the Torah is so deep. But Hashem said, I want to see the Torah being played out. I want to see people keeping Shabbat, putting on tefillin, kashrut, tzniut. I want to see it. He created the world. That's where we come in. We are here to press play on the Sefer Torah, to follow the halachot. That's why halachot is melashon halicha, lelechet, to go. Why is halachot laws, melashon lalechet halicha, to walk with? Because the whole point of the laws, chod Shabbat, chod brachot, everything, all these laws, the point is not learning them. The point is actually walking with them, living with them every single moment of our lives. That's why halachot are called halachot melashon halicha, to walk with them. You're supposed to walk with the Torah. Torah is a sefer ora'ah. The Torah is a sefer, a book that's written to give us direction in life. I remember when we were younger, we bought bunk beds in Los Angeles, and we had to build it ourselves. It was part of the fun. Now, of course, it was a manual. We sat down over there. There was A, B, C goes over there. This part goes over there. There's no way the company that you buy the bunk bed from them will leave you hanging. You know, we're not just going to let you break your head how to build a bunk bed. Obviously, they're going to give you a manual. How much more so? This world, does anybody really think, come on, Hashem will put us in such a complicating world with so many opinions, with no manual? Kacha, go figure it out. Whatever this college guy tells you, this politician tells you, politician says this. Everybody has so many opinions. You think there's no manual to the world? It can't be. There's no manual. Chas v'shalom. What's the manual of what to do and how to live and what to eat and what to see, how to dress? Everything is where? The Torah Akdusha is the manual of this world. Everything is in the Torah Akdusha. Life is so easy. Life is so easy for those who follow the rules. Those who follow the Torah, life is easy. When does life become complicating? And one thinks he's smarter than Hashem, he's smarter than the Torah. I'm the genius that's going to tell you what's going to make you happy. Whoop-de-doo, 2021, as if no one thought that 100 years ago. I'm the genius that has, I'm telling you. Meanwhile, your life is wasted. Chaval. Hashem, who created the world, knows what's best for us, and He told us. This world is about learning Torah, following the halachot, getting close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In fact, I'll read you the first paragraph of Mesilat Yesharim. He says a tremendous thing. He says like this, and remember this for the rest of your life. This is the Yesod, the basics, the foundations of Judaism. Yesod Chasidut v'Shorosh Avodah Atimahu. the basics, the foundation of serving Hashem, she'idbarer v'yitamet etzel ha'adam. A human being has to be mevarer. How to say it in English? To be mevarer, to find out, to dig, to research. Ve'itamet, it has to become true to you, truthful to you. Etzel ha'adam, to the human being. Ma chovato ba'olamo. What is your purpose in life? This is one of the major things that bothers me a lot sometimes when I meet people. It's an unbelievable thing. Did you ever think why in the world you're in this world? You honestly think Hashem created this whole world, and when you learn science, you go out of your mind how the sun works, the moon, and the animals, and no matter how much we think we know, there's so much more for the scientists to discover. You really think Hashem created this whole massive world for a person to sit down and watch a movie on Netflix? Or for a person to chas v'shalom just do averot, do sins? For a person to eventually buy a nice house? Makes no sense. There has to be a much deeper purpose. You know what it's like? Imagine you go to a wedding hall. Okay, you go to someone's wedding, and the wedding hall is so fancy. There's so many beautiful flowers, chandeliers. The food is great. You could tell by the wedding, by the way, if it's a wealthy family making the wedding or not a wealthy family. Usually, when the hall is so big and so beautiful, and you see the type of foods they have and the type of scenery, usually it's because that person is very wealthy. You don't prepare such a big wedding for somebody who's not so wealthy. That's how it is. This world, Hashem created this whole world. He prepared a whole world for us. All the scenery across the world, the trees, the stars, the flowers, there's so many beautiful things, so many things going on in the world. Why did Hashem create the scenery? Why did He create such a complicated, huge, beautiful world? Obviously, if He created such a huge, beautiful world, there has to be a big purpose. It's for people that make a lot of difference. That's where they get such a beautiful world. Who are those people, Abutai? Us. Human beings, and especially the Jews. Hashem created the world for us. There's a purpose why we're in this world. And it is not to make money. Person has to make money in life. You gotta go to work. You have to go to work. You gotta make a panasa 100%. But why do you have to make money? To live. And what do you live for? To serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Person has to make money to live. What do you live for? To serve Hashem. For the same reason why we eat. Why do we eat? We eat to eat? No. We eat because then we got to live. We live to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That is the greatest life in the world. A person who gets to the level of understanding why he's in this world doesn't get intimidated by anybody anymore, doesn't get influenced by anything, because he stays focused on what his goal is in this world. Can you ever imagine, let's say a farmer, okay, he has a chicken coop, okay? It's a chicken coop. Did the farmer ever think, should I go inside the chicken coop and act like a chicken? Farmers working with the chickens, with the roosters, 10 years, 20 years. Did he ever think to go in there and start quacking whatever it is with like the chickens? Of course not. Because he knows I'm a farmer and you're a chicken. In this world, we have to understand, Hashem chose us as His people, as His ambassadors, as the shlichim, as the messengers in this world to represent Him in this world. Our job is to stay focused. Stay on your lane, serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu as much as possible. It's going to be hard, but you have to stay focused, always moving forward, serving Hashem no matter what the culture tells you. And the only way a person can ever get influence from the Goyim is only if he thinks there's a connection to him and them in the first place. But when you know a Goy is a Goy and a Jew is a Jew, then you're never going to get influence. A person only gets influence because you think you're on the same lane, you're on the same direction, you're on the same goal in life. That's where you get influence. But you have to understand, we are the Am HaNivchar. It's not a joke, it's a serious thing. Hashem really trusts us in this world to represent Him. A person has to be aware of the responsibility that Hashem gave him, and we cannot mess up. And like the rabbi said, the more religious we are right now in our generation, you might think it's a small thing. If I put on tefillin, if I go to minyan, if I keep Shabbat, if I keep kosher, you might think it's a small thing. But the more religious you are right now, the more religious the next generation will be. The more we let go of the religion now, chas v'shalom, how much more so afterwards, chas v'shalom, it should never happen, the grandchildren are going to let go. So every time you do a mitzvah, every time you keep Shabbat, have in mind not only yourself, know that you're saving the generation after you. Because the tighter the grip is in Torah and mitzvot, the more we're going to be able to be religious in the next generation by our grandchildren afterwards. Like the rabbi said, we have to make sure not to mess up. We really have to stay true to the Torah, Kedusha, to what Hashem gave us. Every single word of the Torah. So how did I get to that, Rabbi? Anybody know how I got there?
You're talking about like we're separate from the... No, purpose in life.
Oh, purpose in life. Okay. Says Mishat Hashem like this, and I end up with this. He says like this. Lo nivra, the human being was created, ela litaneg hal Hashem v'lenot miziv shchinato. The human being is so beautiful. It's unbelievable. The human being was created, Hashem created us to what? Litaneg, to enjoy. V'lehenot miziv shchinato, to enjoy the beauty of serving Hashem. Why did God create us? To enjoy life. Isn't this awesome? Why did God create us? To enjoy life. Now, what is considered enjoyment? The boss knows. The boss knows best. What's enjoyment? Getting close to Him. Did I ever tell you guys the Century 21 story? No? I don't even know who I'm talking to anymore. I hope I'm not repeating myself. So I'm zochet to know a very good person. He owns Century 21 department stores. Very wealthy person. So one time I had a meeting with him for a donation that I had to get for a certain project. His store before Corona, I know what he's doing now, was in the city. Okay, so I took a taxi there. I pull up. It's very awkward because I'm there with my white shirt, black pants, the whole situation. And the first section was the makeup section. So it looked very, very out of place. So I walk in there, and there's guards in the front. They saw I look lost. By the way, I really was lost. I'm not going to know. Like, whoa, what is this? It's like I just left Lakewood. I see, well, okay. I go in there, and he says, can I help you? And then I tell him, yeah. I was being very tamim, very naive. I tell him, I'm here to meet Mr. So-and-so, who's the CEO of the store. He's like, you what? I was like, I'm here to meet Mr. So-and-so. Why are you making that face? He's like, okay, stay right here. He had like a walkie-talkie here type of thing. I don't know what he said over there, all these different words. And then a different person comes, and he says, what's your name? You have an ID? I give them my ID. He's like, give me a minute. He did his walkie-talkie. Then they saw I wasn't lying. Okay. Then they take me to an elevator. Now, Rabotai, there's elevators and there's elevators. This was a golden elevator. Golden elevator. Now, to get inside this golden elevator, it's a real experience, huh? To get inside this golden elevator, you need a card. It's not just one of those you press the buttons. It's not a free world over there. I mean, you need like a special card. So this guy had the card. Ching, ching. Okay. Elevator comes down. We go inside. Finally, we get to the level. Then they walked me to the CEO's office, and then it was on top of the buildings over there. It was a beautiful scenery, seeing all the people. That's a lesson by itself. When I was looking out the window in that office, you see hundreds and hundreds of people in the city running. You know, when you're on top, everybody seems so small. Everybody looks the same. You guys are all running. Everyone is running. Can you imagine a Kadosh Baruch Hu? I mean, looks, you two guys are fighting over parking spots, or two guys are fighting over $5. Someone's like, well, what are you guys fighting about, little guys over there? You know what I mean? Serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu. While you live your own life, you think life is about you, life involves around me, I. But then we forget, Habibi, relax. You're one creation of the world. Baruch Hashem, Hashem gave you the zechut to follow the Torah. Say thank you and take it, cherish it, and move on. Not start arguing with people, start fighting with people. Does Hashem exist? Does Hashem not exist? Is Torah true? Is Torah true? Oh, come on already. You got to move on already. So the kids say they looked very small. Then, as I'm sitting there with the boss, with the CEO, he came in, Baruch Hashem, very good guy. Somebody walked in and he asked him about a certain product he wanted to get his wife, a certain shoe. So he asked him, he was like a new employee, that's what it seemed like. He asked him, what's the best company, the best price for my wife? So right away, as the owner of Century 21 for a long time, he's ching, 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 he rolled everything off. I was thinking to myself, me, the naive boy that I was back then, I think I was like 17, 18. I was thinking to myself, imagine I would argue with the CEO. Now tell him, Habibi, the best shoe company, you're making a mistake. Best shoe company is so-and-so. The best price is so-and-so. You know what you're talking about. Would it be foolish of me, this little naive 17-year-old out of yeshiva, a little Daled Amot that we were in just the building, to come for your first time at Century 21, guys in the business for 20 years, would it be really silly of me to argue with the owner of Century 21? Yes. The answer is yes. We come in this world. Kadosh Baruch Hu created the world. The Kadosh Baruch Hu was always here. He's here now and he always will be here. Thousands of years. The world, the grass. Oh my gosh, it's unbelievable what's going on in the world. Such a complex world. We learn science. The world is massive. History is massive. Imagine a person comes in 2021. Hashem. I love your Torah. I respect it. I respect your Torah. But it's not for me. Do you really exist? Do you really not exist? Is Torah really enjoyable? Maybe movies is more enjoyable. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Come on. Hashem was in the business for how many years, Rabotai? Hashem knows what He's doing. He created all the enjoyments of the world. The whole world He created. You're going to tell Him what's more enjoyable? He's telling you Torah, being religious, is the most enjoyable thing in the world. And I'll tell you why, by the way. It's very simple why Torah is the most enjoyable thing in the world. I'll tell you why. Very simple logic thing. No matter how much wealth you have, why does a person want to make so much money? Because the more money you make, the more things you can buy. The more things you can buy, the more officially happier you will be. Now that's fake news. That's not true. Because you have plenty of wealthy people that made money and they're not happy. Or, let's say you take the wealthiest person. Let's take our favorite leader, Donald Trump. Okay? Let's say Donald Trump. He was a wealthy guy. Why do you run for president? You made your money. You have a building in the city. Tishet b'sheket. Sit down. Why? Why do you have to run for president? He said why. He wanted more and more and more and more to become the president of the United States. And he got it too. And now he's not happy because now he doesn't have it. You see that even wealthy people, it doesn't end. You think it ends when you get a certain amount of money? It's more and more and more and more. A person's always striving for more and more and more. It's never going to be enough anyways. But a person who's religious, person who learns Torah and connects to Hashem, he has everything he needs every moment. You see, I don't need money to be happy. I need Hashem to be happy, and Hashem is here at every moment. I don't need a big house to be happy. I need Torah to be happy. And Torah is everywhere, whatever you want, for free, by the way. Torah is everywhere, whatever you want. So if your enjoyment is money, I feel bad for you, because you have a long way to go. Maybe you'll get the money, maybe you'll succeed, and even if you do, you're going to want more. And hopefully no one's going to steal it from you either. But when your enjoyment is Torah, it's 24/7. It's everywhere. Wherever you go, you have Torah virat shamayim. Now a person has to work on building the love of being religious. It doesn't take 2 seconds. These things that takes, you have to Torah, you have to work, you have to try to cut from the culture as much as possible to really enjoy the Torah. I'll tell you a mashal. About enjoying Torah. This also applies to women, by the way. It applies to all Torah and mitzvot. A person naturally, we have a high neshama. We have a soul that's tremendous. When we do mitzvot, naturally we're supposed to enjoy the mitzvah right away. You know, like the Ben Ish Chai says. The Ben Ish Chai says naturally you can smell something that's spoiled. That's just spoiled milk. You can naturally smell it. Why? Because you have to stay away from danger. So Hashem made sure for you to stay away from danger, you can at least smell the spoiled milk. Says the Ben Ish Chai, our neshamot, our souls, naturally, if we kept it intact and not chas v'shalom ruin it, we're able to detect and smell bad behavior, bad people, sins, averot, yetzara. But a person can damage his neshama with so much bad things that he doesn't even smell it. He doesn't know what's a mitzvah, what's an aver, God exists, God doesn't exist. A person could damage himself, and a person has to be very, very, very careful. But naturally, our neshamot, our souls have the ability to enjoy every mitzvah as if you made more than $1 million. It's priceless. Every mitzvah you do, our neshamot connect and feel the enjoyment. But what could be blocking, you know, maybe you need like plumbing. What could be blocking is the averot, the sins, the culture. You know, when a person watches a movie, and this is a fact, person who watches a movie, you should know that you're damaging your neshama, you're damaging your soul. Especially if a person watches a movie that's improper, chas v'shalom, that's disgusting. You're literally damaging your soul. You think it's fun, you think it's enjoyable now. What are you talking about? You can't even enjoy Torah afterwards. You're going to put in tefillin, you don't enjoy it. Pesach, you're not going to enjoy because everything is blocking. There's blockage over there. You have to get rid of it. Your neshama has to be clean. All these averot, it might seem fun in that second, but technically, a person chas v'shalom is just damaging himself more and more and more because you're not really going to enjoy life. You're not going to enjoy life. You know, when it's like, do we all agree that it's very healthy to go to work and make your own money? I think we all agree. There's a very, very bad lifestyle for a person to live in unemployment and do all the government stuff and not work. Very, very, very unhealthy lifestyle. We all believe a person has to hustle. A person has to work in life. You know, the Midrash says that Avraham Avinu was one time walking in the fields and he saw Goyim, they were plowing the fields. They were doing charisha back and forth with the shovel back and forth. And he said that Alavai ashav chelik yime'em. I wish I would always have part with them. Now what does that mean? Avraham Avinu, the holy Avraham Avinu, you're saying you wish you had part with the Goyim working the land? The answer is that Avraham Avinu was saying like this. He was saying that no matter what I do in life, always have to move. You always have to work and hustle. Yes, we choose, Baruch Hashem, to work more when it comes to Torah and Yirat Shamayim. But a person should never stay not working at all, Chas Hashem. Just be bored and do nothing. Not hustling, not moving every day is the worst thing a person could do. For a person to be bored, not learn and not work, to just be on unemployment and do nothing, that leads to destruction of the person, destroys. The last thing a person ever wants to do, chas v'shalom, is to be one of those who stays home all day and just goes on Instagram and does all these things. Always gotta work, Torah yirat shamayim, or go to work. You gotta move, hustle. You always gotta hustle. The Yetzer Hara gets a person when a person is bored, or when a person is not busy. A person constantly has to be busy. You know, the Rambam says in his Sefer, he says, we know one of the, unfortunately, most common averot, says the Rambam, is hirurim ra'im, when a person has bad thoughts in his mind of znut, of different disgusting things with boys and girls. It's one of the worst averot, and it's a very common averot. So says the Rambam, how does a person avoid it? How does a person avoid having bad thoughts? How does he do it? So he says very simple. When a person's mind is empty, then all these thoughts come in. But when a person's mind is full, there's no room for the Yetzer Hara to come in the first place. Person has to keep on learning more Torah and be busy with more chasadim, more tefillah, more mitzvot. Come on, move. Don't give a second to the Yetzer Hara, to chas v'shalom. Boom, come inside a person's mind, and then the thoughts go on and on and on. That's what the Rambam says. Your mind has to be busy with Torah. That's why I always tell teenagers, different places, sometimes there's very good speakers out there, but they talk about the topic, this specific topic of this specific sin way too much. Okay, you know what sin I'm talking about, right? We're talking about way too much. Now we, growing up in yeshivot, the rabbis never talk about these things. They hardly even mention that sin. As teenagers growing up, okay, as boys, they never spoke about it. What they did speak about was, learn Torah, more mitzvot. The question is why? Why didn't he even speak about that sin? Because they knew, ultimately, the greatest weapon and the only way you're going to succeed beating that sin is when you learn Torah. When your mind is full, just learn. Let's say a person falls, a person sins, and it happens. Move forward. Keep on learning Torah. Don't let the Yetzer Hara get you. I once read an article about an Israeli soldier that survived one of the wars in Syria, and he said that his friends that were with him in the brigade or whatever it is they got shot, and he was petrified. So he fell on the floor, make it as if he's dead, chas v'shalom, and he said he was petrified. Then he heard one of his Israeli friends screaming, move forward, they're gonna kill you, just move. And he said he had that guts to get up, and he started running, not looking back. Run. And he said he survived the war. He said this soldier said a tremendous lesson. Now he's religious. He said a tremendous lesson. He says many times the Yetzer Hara, he gets a person and he falls, he sinned. What does the Yetzer Hara tell the person? You sinned, stay down. You're injured, stay down. What does Hashem say? Move forward, move. You sinned, okay, do tshuva, but go. Keep on learning Torah. Don't let the Yetzer Hara pull you down. Bug a person, pull him down. You did avera, you have no chance. You're depressed. You can't do Torah. You can't learn mitzvot. It's chas v'shalom for a person to have that mindset. Even if a person did sin, the biggest etzah is you move forward. Just get up and run every day of your life. More Torah. Fill your head with Torah and mitzvot and chasadim. You will be safe from the Yetzer Hara. And that's what the Rambam says. How did I get there? So I want to tell you a mashal. How does a person enjoy Torah? So far clear? Any questions? No questions? I don't like when there's no questions. No questions?
It's not the most enjoyable thing. It's just not.
Okay, I like that honesty. So I'll answer you. You're right. It is not enjoyable right away. Good question. Okay, it is not enjoyable right away. It's something that a person has to build it's work, which is why most people in the world don't want it. Okay, most people in the world are not religious, and they're making a huge mistake. Because the most enjoyable thing is being religious, but that takes time to build. The person needs patience. He needs amilut. He has to be what's that word called? He has to persevere, whatever that word is. He has to keep on going. Be strong, and that person will get there. And you won't regret it. You're never going to find a person, if you will go to the hospitals and you interview old people on their deathbeds, you're never going to find one person that regrets being religious. Okay, you're never going to have a guy who sits there, I shouldn't have kept Shabbat, I should have done this, I shouldn't have went to class, I should have went to a football game. Never you're going to have such a person that regrets it. But you're going to have many people They sit on their deathbeds, chas v'shalom, and one of them say, yeah, what did I do? Was it worth it to go to that dumb club? Come on. Was it worth it not to keep Shabbat? For what? What kind of fool? I had a rabbi, I had a shul, I had Torah. What a fool I was. Many people will regret it. Being religious is the most enjoyable thing in the world. And who says that? HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Person has to work in the beginning and trust Hashem. Why should you trust Hashem? Besides that He's Hashem. I'll tell you logically. If Hashem created all the enjoyable things in the world that a person doesn't want to be religious because of them, why doesn't one want to be religious? Because he thinks to himself, if I be religious, if I keep Shabbat, I can't do this, I can't do that, I can't enjoy myself. That's a very illogical thing to say. Why? Because who created all these enjoyments in the first place that you don't want to be religious for? Hashem. And He's telling you, Habibi, you're missing the boat. The most enjoyable thing is Torah v'mitzvot. Yes, it takes work, but I created, that's the most enjoyable thing in the world. Imagine you go to a restaurant and the guy gives you first course and you love it. Top chef. It's beautiful, it's the best food in the world. Yum, the guy is awesome. Tells you think that was good. Wait until I give you the second course. If you really enjoyed the first course, you can trust the chef about the second course. All these different enjoyments that the Goyim have, by the way, me being as a religious Jew, it's like I feel bad for them. The question is the other way. Why wouldn't the person want to be religious? Don't you want to enjoy life? I really don't get it. I can't comprehend it. Person can learn Torah, keep Shabbat, tzniut, kosher. It's such an enjoyable thing, and God created it. It's hard in the beginning. I wasn't religious when I was younger. It's hard in the beginning, but once you... I don't even know why people are not religious. It's the other way. The question is really the other way. Don't you want to enjoy life? It's like it's hard, but you go for it. You trust Hashem, and a person gets it. But you can trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu. He created all the enjoyments in the world. He knows what's the most enjoyable thing in the world. It's a person's choice. Person has bechira. Person has free choice. You want to be happy? You serve Hashem. If a person thinks he's smarter than Hashem, good luck. Good luck. See you later, alligator. See you in 30 years. We'll see who was right. But you have to understand. Every generation makes the same mistake. Every generation, the youth, and I call myself the youth, make that mistake thinking, we're a different generation. The old generation was old and slow, they don't know what they're talking about. We're smarter, we're going to... And then they decide we're also not going to be religious because it's a different test, there's more enjoyments. Every generation says that. And every generation ends up being 6 feet under. Those who are religious were zocheh, had an awesome life in this world and an awesome life in the next world. Those who unfortunately were not zocheh to be religious, what can you do? What can you do?
What happens to those people who aren't religious, like when they die?
It's a hard question for me to answer because there's different levels. You're asking the wrong person, okay? Because I'm very strong about that, but I'll tell you what the rabbis say. The rabbis say like this, something called Tinok Shenishba. Tinok Shenishba is, in English, they call them the POWs, right? There's soldiers that get captured or whatever it is. Let's say you take a young boy from his parents and then you raise him in the jungle, he ends up acting like a monkey. It's not his fault. So too. Okay, let's say you have people that unfortunately were not zochet to be religious. It's not their fault. It's the parents, the surroundings, their teachers. It's really not their fault. So now, what type of punishment will be in the next world? I don't know if it's the word punishment, but what type of consequences or Gehenom would there be? I don't know. I'm not God. But I can tell you one thing. It can't be that a person that was religious his whole life and kept Shabbat, who did Averot, will go to Gehenom for those Averot. And a person that wasn't religious at all, we're not going to end up a Gehenom. That can't be. The question is, how much Gehenom does a person get for not being religious? But I don't even want to go, and I don't want to go to the next world. I don't care about the next world. I'm not even going there. I'm talking about this world. In this world, let's say a person wasn't religious his whole life. I feel bad for you. I really feel bad for such a person. You had a golden opportunity to be religious. An awesome life, getting close to Hashem. I don't understand. Forget about that in this world. Why would you do that? You can be the happiest person in the world and get to serve Hashem. What is there greater honor than that? It's the best thing in the world. What happens in the next world, we'll see. Yes, there's definitely Gehenom and there's Olam Haba. How much does each one get? Only Hashem knows. But the point is, this world. Don't you want to enjoy this world? Every moment of Torah, every mitzvah that you do, Kadosh Baruch Hu tells us it's the most enjoyable thing in the world. But there is a musag, a concept called Tinok Shenishba. Person growing up not religious, not necessarily it's their fault 100% or 50%. How much is their fault? I don't know. And the rabbis have a big disagreement about it in halakha also. How much is it their fault that they're not religious? But I would never play with fire. That's called playing with fire. Is it my fault? Is it not my fault? That's playing with fire because it's 50-50. And you don't want to mess with God when it comes to Olam Haba. That's the last thing a person want to do. Okay, we just went through Corona. Before Corona, people always argue with me, what are the chances that there's Olam Haba? I want to take the gamble of not being religious in this world and officially enjoy myself, and then I won't get Olam Haba on the chance that there is Olam Haba. I would tell them, what do you mean? It's for sure 50-50 that there's the next world. Can we agree? Can we all agree over here? Is it 50-50 that there is the next world? Yes. We can say 50-50, Baruch Hashem, Sephardi Jews. For sure 50-50, okay? On the 50% chance that there is Olam Haba, a person who chas v'shalom was not religious when he could have been religious. It's not for one moment. Olam Haba is not for one moment. It's forever and ever and ever. It's scary to even talk about. Why are we talking about this topic? I don't know. You know what forever and ever and ever means? Imagine I take it to the city, to New York City. Now we have the Empire State Building, the Freedom Tower. And I put sunflower seeds across the whole city. Literally sunflower seeds. And a bird comes once every 100 years to take one sunflower seeds. Okay? Imagine this, picture it. A whole city, sunflower seeds, all the way to the top of the building, the Empire State Building. A bird comes once every 100 years, takes one sunflower seed. How many years, accountants over here, would it take the bird to finish cleaning the whole city from sunflower seeds? Okay? Get back to me next week. And even that time is not even infinity. It's not even forever. The world, the next world, is even longer than that. Even longer. Oh my gosh, can you imagine this? Why is averot? Why is sinning even worth it? I don't even know how that makes any sense. A person says, yay, whoopie-doo. Now what? Now you can't serve Hashem. You're not going to enjoy your world. Then the next world you're screwed. I don't get the whole situation. You know what it means for the next world forever and ever and ever and ever? So on the 50% chance that there is Olam Haba, I know there's Olam Haba 100%. But I say even a business level, business mind, on the 50% chance there is a next world, it is not worth it not to be religious in this world. That's a grave mistake. On a business level, it's a grave mistake. Because on the 50% chance that there is no Olam Haba, then you're not going to be there to prove me that I'm wrong. According to you, if there's no next world, you're not going to be there to prove me I'm wrong. Also. But on the chance that there is a next world, not only I'm going to be there, that's going to be pretty bad. It's not worth the gamble. And Corona proved that. And you know how Corona proved that? Did anybody see Corona? Right, not the beer. Corona. Did anybody see Corona? You guys remember only a year ago or more, we were all locked in our houses. Dr. Fauci scared us. You guys remember that? We couldn't move out of our houses. No shuls, no weddings, no levayot. Did anybody actually see Corona? You saw Corona? No. Not that they lied. Relax. But nobody saw Corona. But we all listened. We literally all listened. Did anybody see Corona? No. What are the chances of a person dying from Corona? Let's say they were right and they weren't exaggerating. Definitely wasn't 50-50. And still everybody, Corona. Over here, Hashem wrote the Torah HaKdosha, not Dr. Fauci, not Governor Cuomo HaRasha. Hashem wrote the Torah. Well, Moshe Rabbeinu is lying. Avraham Avinu lied. The Rambam lied. Rashi, Chafetz Chaim will lie. The Chafetz Chaim will lie. Come on. Chamavadi will lie. What, you think they were all fools? Chas v'shalom. They're literally telling us, hello, Torah and mitzvot, Olam Haba, serve Hashem. And let's say maybe Chas v'shalom, it's hard for me to say the words, they were wrong. Maybe Chas v'shalom, it's hard for me to say they made a mistake. What, they're 100% wrong? Maybe 20% wrong? It's for sure 50-50. I will never take that gamble. Ever take that gamble of Chas v'shalom not being religious. I know the best thing is to be religious, but I'm saying even on a business level, makes no sense for a person not to grab the opportunity of serving a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Not on a ruchniut level, spiritual level, because Hashem exists and He's here as we're talking. Do you know how freaky that is? You know what that means? Hashem is here as we're talking? Hashem really exists. That's scary. That's spooky. God is here. The same God that created Avraham Avinu, Adam HaRishon, Har Sinai, Moshe Rabbeinu, the same God that was at the Holocaust, by the way, is the same God that's here right now watching us as we're learning Torah. That itself is freaky. That itself is a scary thought when you think about it. It's an awesome thing to serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Wherever you are, you're comfortable. You know, the Seiya Mashal, you teach little children. Did I answer your question? Not yet. We're almost there. Imagine like this. Imagine a little kid crosses the street. You teach him to always look all the time, both ways. The car doesn't come. But when the little boy is with his father, holding his hand, the little boy doesn't look back and forth. He just walks and crosses the street with his father. Chazal say the same mashal. When you're walking in this world alone, Person is always, oh my gosh, this, always looking all over. Is this guy right? Maybe this guy's right. Maybe this is the right thing. Maybe this is the right thing. When a person holds on to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when a person holds on to the chain of Torah, to the hand of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he's religious, just trust Hashem. You literally walk in the park, as I say. You're walking through life. You keep Shabbat, you follow the halachot, you're with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, a smooth, easy life. That's a person's choice. Good? Did I answer your question?
Saying like
On a business level, am I right?
Yeah, business level,
Yes.
fine.
Good.
But you're saying like if you're religious, like it just, you feel more, what's the word? You know the word.
Smooth?
No. Direct.
Contempt? Man, that's the word?
Yeah, like direct, like you have a direction. You feel more.
Oh, that's for sure.
Like
That's
what
for
you're
sure.
saying,
Of
that's
course.
What you're saying. It's enjoyable because it gives you a direction.
Being confused is the worst thing possible. For a person to be confused is very bad. When a person is with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, you have direction in life. That's a Torah. It's called Torah. Torah is melashon hora'ah. Hora'ah means direction. The root word of Torah is direction. Hora'ah. That's what Torah does to a person. You know, when the greatest rabbis, when you ask them a question about Shalom Bayit and different things, why do we ask rabbis questions? You guys know why? Why is it that we go to top rabbis for questions when you're confused about something? Why do we go to rabbis? Not because we want to know what the rabbi has to say. We want to know what the Torah has to say. How do you find out what the Torah has to say? From the rabbi. Because the rabbi who learns Torah all day, his mind becomes the Torah's mind. So when he answers you what Torah would tell you. The Torah gives direction for a person to live. How do we get to that, Rabotai?
I have a question.
Yes.
So back to Pirkei Avot, right?
Yeah.
For like 45 minutes ago. So it's kind
Last
of like
week.
a tripod where it's where the world is holding on three things, right? So working, Chesed, and Torah. Are they
Working? What do you mean
all-
working?
So back to Pirkei Avot, right?
Tefillah, Torah, Tefillah, and
Tefillah.
Gimut Chasidim. Right.
Yeah. But wasn't working also part of that? As
What's working?
Like providing for your family, and it's no.
No, I mean it's chesed when a person
part of
works.
chesed.
Yeah, it's part of chesed. Yeah, of course. Yeah, working for the family is chesed.
They're all like, if one falls off, the other two can't.
Oh yeah, yes.
can't,
Cannot hold on. No. You need all three. You know, three. All three always happen. A person in his life needs all three.
Tefillah, I mean, for me, the hardest part is tefillah for me, I guess, than the other two. Like, I love studying Torah, but when it gets to tefillah, it's difficult. So I don't know, what would you
Say what? For you? What do you mean?
Yeah, like for anyone who's having trouble with.
I'll tell you. We have to appreciate what tefillah is. The Rambam, Chazal called tefillah avodah shebelev. It's a working of the heart. Avodah means to work. For a person to really enjoy tefillah, he has to work. It's work. Like you said. Tefillah is the hardest part. Chesed, kindness, is using your body. A person can be the biggest faker, but he can still do chesed with his body. Doesn't take much from a person. You know what I mean? To drive somebody or give tzedakah. Like I had an argument with this guy one day, sweet guy. He says, Rahimi, I don't want to be religious. I don't want to keep Shabbat, no Torah mitzvot. I like giving tzedakah. He's a wealthy guy, he gives tzedakah. I told him, you know why you like giving tzedakah? Because you like throwing God on other people. Hashem, I don't want to change. I don't want to keep Shabbat. I have to keep Shabbat. So I give tzedakah. It's like out of him. It's like, here, take the money. Go, Hashem, take your money and leave. You know, a guy knocks on the door. Can I have tzedakah? You don't be too busy with him. Here's $5 and good to go. Thank you. Sometimes a person gives tzedakah for that reason. He doesn't realize it. He thinks, I don't have to learn because I give tzedakah. I don't have to keep Shabbat because I give tzedakah. That's a very bad mistake. Yes, it's a big mitzvah. But Hashem doesn't want your money. Hashem wants you. That's the whole point of religion. Hashem wants the person to be His. Serve a Kadosh Baruch Hu. Keep Shabbat. Follow Torah mitzvot. That's what Hashem wants. You know, it's like a marriage. What does it mean to get married, the husband and the wife? I hope. What does it mean? It means I am yours, you are mine. It's not, oh, you my wife, let me buy you gifts all day, just leave me alone. That's not going to work. That's not. I hope that it's not a real wife. If that's all she wants. You know, if a wife all she wants is gifts, you got to be careful. A wife doesn't want a gift; she wants her husband. I want my husband. What does that mean? I want to talk to my husband, and it goes the other way too. That's a real relationship. So too when it comes to Torah mitzvot, Hashem wants a relationship. The point is not Torah mitzvot tzedakah. I want real sincerity. I want the person. Hashem wants us. It's such an honor that HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to serve Him. That's a great honor. It's a zechut. Every moment, every day that we live, we have a zechut to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How in the world did I get there? What time is it already? Oh my goodness.
9:50.
9:50. You guys are. So what did I say?
We're talking about Pirkei Avot.
Okay, so the world stands on those three things. Okay, so what do we walk out of here? We walk out of here like this. Thank you, Hashem, for giving us the honor of being religious. Thank you, Hashem, for giving us the honor of being Jewish. My gosh, can you imagine being a non-Jew? You know, Chazal tell us, why did Hashem create sports? Why do we have sports in the world? I'm not telling anybody not to follow sports anymore. I happen to not to like sports. I like more politics. Okay? But why did Hashem create sports? For the goyim to be busy. Can you imagine? Imagine you're like a new guy in the world. You're in a huge stadium. People are paid, how much is the ticket these days? Let's see for a football game. $100? How much is it?
Too much money.
What, $100? How much is it? $200?
$200.
Okay, imagine you pay $100, $200 to get inside the game. And you're seeing everybody's running and running and running and everybody's cheering. You're wondering what's going on. Is Chamavadi there? I know why everyone's going back and forth. And then you see a little ball. Then you see like 20 goyim, those big guys, jumping. You're like, whoa, what's going on? Just on the ball. Hashem created that for the goyim to be busy. We as Jews, we have no time for these things. We're on to bigger and better. Torah and mitzvot. We have a country to save, as the Americans call it. We have to save the world. We have to save humanity. There is no time for sports, no time for all these things, and I mean it, by the way. Life is short. The world is coming to an end. We have to move. And Hashem chose us, every single one of us, by the way. You see you in the back? Hashem chose you to serve Him. Every single one of us. Every single one of us to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Hashem chose us. Yes, there's no time for movies. Not that we don't want to watch movies, there's no time for movies. Do you get the mindset? You get the mindset? Not that I don't want to go to the movie theater. I don't have time for you. Sorry, I got to learn. See you later. Okay, that's a new mindset. Suddenly 3 questions? What's going on?
No, it should be.
Who goes first? Yes, go. What's your name?
Shervin.
Shervin?
Yeah.
Okay, nice to meet you, Shervin.
Nice to meet you. So what about the people
Welcome.
who need to study for their career? To study to make money, to be able to serve Hashem, to be able to feed themselves, to serve Hashem.
As long as, okay, that's a good question. As long as your mindset is, I am studying for my career, to have a job, to have money to serve Hashem, you're doing a mitzvah. It's a very fine line. I'm just saying, it's a very fine line. But as long as a person is studying, listen, we had many rabbis that were doctors and bankers, by the way. Many rabbis were doctors. They did it. Who?
The Rebbe, Lubavitcher.
I don't know. Lubavitcher, I don't know. I don't know. But do we know the electrician? What did you say?
Electrical engineer.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting. How do you do that? Okay, but we know the Rambam was a doctor. Listen, we know the Rambam was a doctor, okay? He did it. But it's a very fine line to make sure not to lose focus. Not to lose focus. Imagine this, okay? Imagine this. Imagine I work for UPS, okay? Or FedEx or this Dayhill, whatever it's called, even what it's called. Okay? Imagine I have packages and packages of boxes in my car early in the morning. I have my Dunkin' Donuts coffee. Start your journey, okay? I come at the end of the day. The CEO opens the back of the truck. All the boxes are there. I tell him, don't get upset. At least I didn't get any tickets. Relax. At least I didn't fly through red lights, a stop sign. Say thank you. He's going to look at me, what are you, crazy? I didn't hire you not to get tickets. I hired you to deliver the packages. What's going on? Hashem hired us in this world. Hustle, Torah, mitzvot, Shabbat, kashrut. Person can't just say, Hashem, I didn't do averot. That's not what I hired you. Think I hired you not to do averot? I'd hire you to hustle, build, more Torah, more mitzvot, more religions. Let's go. That's what Hashem hired us for. Clear? Yes? Did I answer your question?
Yes.
But,
So let's say my career, I want to be a veterinarian.
A what?
A veterinarian.
What is that?
An animal doctor.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. I don't like dogs, by the way. I don't like dogs. Yeah, whatever. Long story. Here you go.
My
And
career
cats.
is going to cause me to do things that go against Hashem's saying.
Like what? Like a vegetarian? What is that? Like what?
It's like some rabbis have told me that you're not allowed to castrate an animal.
Oh. Listen, there's many rabbis. Okay, you have to find one rabbi that tells you all the halachot. And that's your choice. That's your choice. It's not easy, by the way. It's not an easy decision to make. But it can very much be that decision can save your life. Hashem is giving a person an opportunity. Every test that we have is an opportunity to grow. I'll tell you a story. Okay, a story about a boy in Bnei Brak. Very, very poor guy. Shiva Bachar. He had to start working to make money. So he started working in a diamond district. In Bnei Brak they have a diamond district, one big building. His job was to clean the floors. All day. That was his job. As he's cleaning the floors, he saw something shiny. Something very shiny. He goes closer, beautiful diamond. Worth a lot of money. A lot of money. And now being very poor, and he was thinking of pocketing the diamond. He was thinking he had a desire, he had a test, not easy, to pocket the diamond. You become wealthy, you go, you sell, you can become wealthy instead of cleaning the floors. He was debating, should I do it, should I not? So you know what? I'm going to do the right thing, and I'm going to announce whoever lost the diamond, come. He didn't say exactly what type of diamond it is, because halacha is, you just have to be general, and the owner has to come forward and tell you all the simanim, all the signs exactly, tell you it was his diamond. So he announces the mic, whoever lost the diamond. What happened was the owner came, they told him exactly what type of diamond, ends up being the owner was found. The owner of the diamond was so impressed with this boy, he told him, if you're so trustworthy, I want you to work in my office. He started working in his office, he got very good at it. The owner of the diamond, that's a multi-millionaire, loved this boy so much, he says, you know what, want to marry my daughter? Marry my daughter. They did it, they got married. Listen to what happened here. He had a big test in front of him. Should I pocket the diamond or not? He controlled himself. He didn't pocket the diamonds. What happened to him? He married diamonds. That's basically what happened. He married diamonds. Every single test in our lives, every single test, and I'm talking to myself, big talker.
Go clean floor.
Every single test in our lives, at the moment we think no big deal, no big deal. Hashem is giving you an opportunity. Overcome the test, overcome the test. I am with you, and you'll get diamonds and diamonds and diamonds and diamonds of reward in this world and the next world. Now I want to mention one thing about the Rambam before I forget. Sorry, your hand is hurting you already? Okay, let me just finish the Rambam. The Rambam, now I know this is a big excuse for many people. Okay, so I want to make the record straight. The Rambam was a doctor. That is 100% true. At the same time, the Rambam wrote halacha sefer that's very clear. In his halacha sefer, he wrote how many hours guys are supposed to learn every single day. Okay, and he writes clearly, for sure, 6-7 hours. The Rambam wrote a halacha sefer, and he writes how much hours a guy is supposed to learn, and he says 6 to 7 hours. So even with all the Rambam stuff, he went to college, whatever that means, he did this. Person has to learn, according to the Rambam that you're quoting, 6 to 7 hours of learning every single day. So obviously the generation went down. Okay, yes, I'm not saying now every person should learn 6 to 7 hours a day, especially working guys. It's almost not possible. But a person has to be aware how the Rambam thought at the same time. When he said he was a doctor, you have to understand it didn't take away much or at all from his spirituality with Hashem. Every man knows himself. He has to be very careful that he should not be kidnapped by being a doctor and then serving Hashem. Okay, that's one thing. Second thing I want to say, the Rambam wrote in his Shal Tshuva Sefer, questions and answers. Someone once asked him that question. They asked him, how is it that you learned all these things to become a doctor and it didn't influence you? How did it not influence you? So he said, said, imagine you have a house, you have a wife, you have one wife, Baruch Hashem, one wife, but then you have different maidservants. One does back in the day. One does laundry. One cooks. He says, I made a condition with my wife. As long as she cooks, she does laundry, and she cleans the floor, and that's all they do, and they go home, I don't mind them staying here. But once I start feeling connected to any other woman besides my wife, get out of my house. That's what the Rambam says. So too when it comes to all these different subjects, says the Rambam. Yes, I learned how to become this, I learned how to become this, but I have one wife. I have one purpose in life that I feel connected to. What is that? Torah. If I ever, and he says, he said it himself, Hashem is witness in my heart. If I chas v'shalom ever had a connection, a personal connection to any of the subjects that I learned, I only did it because I had to do it. That's where it starts, that's where it ends. But what was my life? What did I live for? Who did I love? Only Hashem, Torah, mitzvot. That's just, it's a very fine line from this whole thing. Okay, did I answer your question? Can I move?
Yeah, move on.
What do you mean no? What do you mean no?
I didn't say no. I said yes, move on.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Yes.
What if going to a football game with friends, let's say our school decided to take our group to a football game next week, and that made us closer and brought Jews together, and we all decided after that to come to shiur after.
So what's the question? Does it make it kosher?
Going to a football game is a waste of time, but it leads to something big.
That's true. 100%. Everything in life is like that. Everything is an incentive. But what's the goal? The goal is not to always use an incentive. Little children, we also give them candy to come learn. We say, if you learn, I'll give you an Xbox. But do we want them not to just their whole life sit and use the Xbox? No, the Xbox, the PlayStation, is a tool to use it to climb higher and serve Hashem. So all these incentives, it's all incentives. It's very healthy. Listen, I went to games. It's not like it's very healthy. Yes, go enjoy yourself 100%. But ultimately, the most enjoyable thing is serving Hashem and not doing these things. When a person is up to that level, a person can't fool himself. If a person wants to go to a football game, it's perfectly fine. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. But no, the one day you want to reach the level of, I want to serve Hashem. Meaning and not do these things without the incentive. Just serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a high level. But if a person wants to get there, he will get there. The first step is knowing to want to get there. But there's nothing wrong with going to a football game. It's not my point at all.
I know, I'm just saying, like, I feel like you have to start from, like, nothing to everything. You can't just do, like, everything at once.
Right.
There's, like, levels.
Everything is steps. Yes, when you climb a ladder, if you want to jump from one step to the 5 step, you'll fall. To go la'at, step by step. In Judaism, it's also like that. The point of this class is not to everybody move to Lake tomorrow morning. Okay? The point of this class is, including myself, to take something. What can I do? What can I do to be more religious? Small things, a bracha. Maybe just a bracha, a blessing. Can anybody here take upon themselves, no matter what, for the rest of the week? All you have is 2-3 days left. Every time I go out of the bathroom, I'm saying a shayatzal. The kavanah. Pausing, saying the bracha shayatzal. That itself is really a tremendous thing. You know, the Gedol Ador of Shach, they asked him, what did you take upon yourself before Rosh Hashanah? The Gedol Ador, he said, I took upon myself to say Birkat HaMazon from Asidu. That's what he did. Birkat HaMazon from Asidu. Because he knew it's about the small things that you take upon yourselves. La'at, that's how a person grows. That's how a person takes upon himself. From now on, I will say bracha b'kavanah, asher yatzah b'kavanah, I'll say birkat hamazon, I'll say bracha. All these things, I could tell you 50 stories, how these brachot made a big difference in people's lives, but we don't have time. Any more questions? Yes, last question.
So before you were saying that, I don't go to the movies because I don't have time to. It's not that I don't want to do it.
I honestly don't want to.
Learning Torah or whatever.
Right,
okay?
right.
So, what if you have a job and you're all okay, you put aside time to learn sometimes or whatever, but then you also have extra time to just watch a movie or whatever. Like I get it, for guys it's more like a priority, to be learning all the time and stuff. But what about for girls? What are we supposed to do?
That's a good question.
To share them all the time.
No, don't do that. I don't do that either. So I'll tell you.
It's on TorahAnytime.
There's something called the Ami magazines, my magazines. There's also a lot of good, awesome magazines. That's my break. I also have my breaks. Okay, but let me tell you, it's a good question. First, to answer the guys, a guy has free time, why not watch a movie? That's a very good question. I'll tell you. Free time, vacation, or at least it used to be like it for normal people. Why does a person go on vacation? To come back and feel rejuvenated and have more cheshek, more of a wanting to go keep on working every single day. Vacation is medicine. Okay? Now imagine you have a person that goes on vacation, comes back worse than he left. Then it's not vacation. I don't know where you went, it's not called vacation. A person, let's say he works or he learns. So you're sitting on a free time and you watch a movie. Watching the movie doesn't help you to come back and learn more. Watching the movie just damages you, now you can't learn at all. That's the problem. Person has to have a break, but that break is a tool to make you learn and serve Hashem better. Forget the word learning. Serving Hashem better. Whatever helps you better. That's why I tell guys that they go on vacation, they go to all these crazy places, they can't watch their eyes. I said, that doesn't make any sense. That makes no sense. You learned, and then you go to a place you can't watch your eyes. What did you gain? You didn't gain anything. You're back to square one. Everything is back to square one. Now, what do ladies do? Listen, ladies are also not allowed to watch movies. If anything, ladies are the first one that should not watch movies. Why? Because when you get married and you have children, the house stands on the ladies, not on the guys, okay, not us. The house stands on the ladies, and I mean it. The more spiritual the lady is, the more spiritual the house and the avira, the atmosphere, and the kids will come out. It's up to the woman. You know, they always say, the religious people, women are like, I don't know what, second class. That's the biggest lie ever. If you read the Torah, you realize how much Hashem always said, women are the pillars of the house. It's a serious thing. They're calling the shots. You can have learning guys that were learning before they got married. After they get married, they're not learning. Why? The wife pulled them down. And you can have many people that weren't learning before, and then when they got married, suddenly they learn more Torah. What happens? The wife pulled them up. Everything, guys are like plastilina. How do you say plastilina in English? No, plastilina? Play-Doh, yeah, that's what it is. Or whatever, you can make them whatever you want. Angry, happy, you can do whatever you want to these guys. The women, seriously, the women are the yotzer of the guy. They manufacture the guys, and it's a true thing. Guys are going to act all macho. What it boils down to is, women are the bosses of the men. That is the truth, and I'll prove it to you, and we'll end off with this. Guys become bar mitzvah at the age of 13. Girls become bat mitzvah at the age of 12. Why? Why is it that women mature faster than men? Maduha. Why? The answer is, says the Chida, women have a higher neshama than men. I hate to break it to you, okay? Women's souls are bigger than the men. That's why they mature faster, because they know life faster than guys. And it's also very true. Women are usually more mature than men, by the way. It also happens like that, because their neshama is higher. And second thing, says the Chida, the Gemara tells us the only way you can beat the Yetzer Hara is if you learn Torah. It's the only tool. So it says the Chida, so what are you going to say about women? Women are not allowed to learn Torah. They should not be learning Torah, like Gemara and stuff, Torah Shabbat Peh. So according to this, says the Chida, how can women beat the Yetzer Hara? They don't have the weapon to beat the Yetzer Hara? That's a powerful question. So the Chida says very simple. Women don't need Torah to beat the Yetzer Hara. They're more powerful than that. Men need Torah because they have so much ta'avot, so much desires, and they're so immature. We need the Torah to beat the Yetzer Hara. If it wasn't for Torah, we're doomed. Doomed. Girls, their neshama is so powerful. Their souls are more powerful than men. They literally don't need the weapon of Torah to beat the Yetzer Hara. That's why women are more mature than men. Okay, good? Thank you for listening. Thank you. Chazak u'baruch.